Hi, welcome to another guitar lesson. Today I'm going to be teaching Saturday Superhouse by Biffy Clyro from their 2007 album Puzzle. The first thing I should say about this song is that it's in drop D tuning, so obviously a lot of people are confident with drop D, but if maybe you're not, or you don't like to tune your guitar differently at all from standard, I've got an entirely separate lesson on tuning to drop D. Really like step by step and take you through it slowly, so you can find that by clicking the channel link below this video. So obviously if that would help, then go up to that, then come back to this video once you're in drop D. That's the only thing to mention really. It's quite an easy song, it's quite a fun one to play, and yeah, so we'll just get started learning it then. Alright, so the intro then. For this song you kind of want to be changing around with your settings for distorted and clean, but for the first part of this intro you want it fairly clean, definitely not too distorted. I think I've got it, yeah, I've got it totally clean, but I think there might be a little bit of distortion on the recording, but that doesn't really matter anyway. And yeah, so the first bit's just going to be on this one chord then. Okay, so your index finger is on the 4th fret of the D. The 4th string, is your ring finger is on the 6th fret of the G, and your middle finger is on the 5th fret of the B. Okay, so and you're going to hit that twice, and it's going to be like down up in terms of the strums. So okay, and then as soon as you hit it on that upstroke on the second time, you want to just mute it with the palm of your hand. Okay, deaden it. So. And you want that to be really kind of staccato, and what I mean by that is you don't want to leave it ringing out at all. You want to stop it like immediately. Okay, so and then you're just gonna do it again, hit that same chord but just once on a downstroke. Okay, so just like that, and again stopping it immediately, so you don't want to let the sound ring out at all. And then after that it does it again once and stops it again, so we've got just the same chords, so down, up, down, down. So yeah, so we've got okay, and then it plays that chord once more, but it's like it's not for the same length of time, so you're not going. Okay, you're hitting it again, so you're going, and then it goes straight into the next bit. So it's like a push. It goes straight into the distorted part. Okay, so I'll teach you that now. Okay, so just after that last time you hit that chord, then you're going to put some distortion on, going into the next part of the intro. So yeah, like I say, it's going to switch around with clean and distorted a lot in this song. If you've got a pedal or something like that, that would be great. Or I guess you could just quickly change your settings, or you might have to just either stick with distortion or clean for the whole thing. But anyway, so yeah, so after that kind of push, that last chord that only rings out for like a second or something, it's going into this distorted part. So you're starting with an F sharp 5 power chord on the 4th fret of the lowest 3 strings, D, A and D. I'll call the 6th string D, although it's technically a low E string, but you know, we've tuned it to D, so for the sake of easiness I'll call it a D. So yeah, so it's 4th fret on those lowest 3 strings. And you're going to hit that twice, down up, okay, with distortions up. Okay, down up. So going from that, the bit I already taught with the cleaner setting on, it's going to go. Okay, so you see what I mean? It literally like it just hits that. Like in the fraction of a second, you know, it's just like a push. So yeah, so it goes twice just on that power chord, and then similar to the bit before, you're going to put your ring finger on the 6th fret of the G and your middle finger on the 5th fret of the B. So it's kind of like that same chord, just with your index barring over those other 2 strings as well. And you're going to play that twice as well, so down up in terms of the strokes. So all together. Okay. And then you're just going to hit the power chord again on the 4th without those other 2 strings, once and mute it again with the palm of your hand like before. So okay, and then hit it again with your other two fingers, just the same as before, of the shape that I taught you, and hit that once again and stop it. So okay, and then hit it once again without your two fingers and stop it. So okay, and then again with them. So right, so we've got. So hopefully you'll be able to see, like, from what I'm playing, what I mean. You're just kind of, you know, taking them on and off. So, and then play it again, down, up, down, with them, with the two fingers, your middle and your ring fingers holding down on those frets. So down, up, down. Okay, and I think from listening to the song, what they've done on the recording is they've kind of overdubbed a few tracks. So I think there's one track going like, and there's another track just kind of as the other one goes, there's another one going like that, just kind of sliding with that shape. But what I kind of do is combine the two and just go and just play that same shape, down, up, down. And if you want as well, you could slide it, so like that. If you wanted, that kind of sounds right as well. And then it does that whole thing, the distorted section twice. Okay, so the whole thing then, what we've got so far for the intro. And that's the intro. Alright, so the verse then, when he sings, I'll be sitting on the left side, you'll be sitting on the right. It starts off very similar to the intro, the distorted part, that is. So it's that same power chord on the fourth, the F5, F sharp 5, and it's going to be a similar pattern as well. So you're going to be like down, up, just with holding down the power chord, and then down, up again with the other two fingers holding down, 5th on the B, 6th on the G, just like before. So, okay, and then you're going to play just the power chord without the extra notes 4 times, I think it is, and muting it again with the palm of your hand. So, okay, so you're not using your other two fingers at any point there. Just okay, and then taking that shape again that we had in the intro, which is 4th, index 4th on the D, ring 6th on the G, and middle 5th on the B, and you're gonna slide. It's gonna go down, up, down, and you're gonna slide it up to the correct place. So I either slide it from there or from there. So going by your index finger, either 2nd or 1st on the D, and then obviously your other fingers kind of fit into place with the shape as well. So yeah, so it's or, you know, it doesn't matter where you slide from as long as you've got the, you know, the sound of it. It's not just, you know. And actually the first part of it, listening to the recording, I think sometimes he's going, another time he's just going, you know, it kind of, he changed it, so sometimes it's, another time it's just staying on that power chord for the first part. And you know, it's up to you whether you always do it with, you know, the fingers or without, or change it around like he does. I'm not entirely sure, you know, when he does put them down, when he doesn't. It's up to you really, but I think he is kind of mixing it around there. So yeah, so it does that through twice then. So okay, and then it goes into this like chordy bit where you're going to leave your ring finger on the 6th on the G and your middle finger on the 5th on the B, and you're just going to play an open D5 power chord, open lowest 3 strings plus those two. So. And that's going to go, so it's so yes, and going into that chord as well, I start with an upstroke, and it's going to be like up, down, 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 down. So it's pretty much, you know, just down. It's just down, 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 down. And like I say, I hit the first time with an upstroke, just going from that slide. Okay, so we've got. Okay, and then it goes to this next chord. It's going to be middle finger on the second on the A, ring finger on the second on the G, and little finger on the second on the B. And it's it's the same like strumming pattern, the same amount of time as that chord before. Just like. Oh, it's not actually. It cuts off a bit, so it goes. And then it stops there, and it goes. It changes a bit. And that chord sounds a little bit weird when I'm playing like that, but I've found the guitar track, isolated guitar track, and it's definitely what he's playing. I'm also watching a live video, and it's definitely what Simon Neil's playing. So yeah, so we've got. Then you're just going to go to an E5 power chord on the second fret of the lowest three, and it's just going to be down, up, down. Okay, so that's like at the end of it. And then it goes back to the start of the kind of whole pattern, and then it does it again. So we've got this. And then it changes slightly on that second time round, just in the way that instead of going, it just stays on that chord, on that second on the A, G and B, so it's going to go, and then it goes into the chorus. So yeah, so the only difference is it stays on that second kind of big chord that you play, and doesn't go to that E5. So the verse then in total is going to go like this. Okay, and then it goes into the chorus. Okay, so the chorus then, when he sings, if we don't know where we belong, it'll make no difference from where we started. And it comes in straight after the verse ends. And the first chord then, it's going to be open lowest three strings, and then second fret on the G and third fret on the B with your index and middle. So, okay, it's going to go down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay? So far. Right, and then E5 power chord with your index finger, so bowing on the second fret across the lowest three, and then the little finger, or you could use your ring finger actually, but I normally use my little finger, going to the fourth fret on the G, and it's for the same amount of time, the same strumming pattern. Okay. Well, actually, I start on an upstroke, like I was saying before, because of the way that kind of it falls, the chord changes kind of fall. I normally start on an upstroke. So, okay, and you're going to move your index finger up from the second to the fourth, and then it's going to be very similar to the kind of intro verse thing that happens. So it's going to be like, okay, just on that power chord on the fourth. And then it's the sixth on the G and the fifth on the B, just like before, just like in the intro and in the verses. So it's down, up on each. So we've got, and then up, down again on the power chord. But then just once with the extra notes, with the sixth on the G, fifth on the B. So, and then up, down, up on the power chord. Right, so and then once again with the with your extra fingers. So. And then once on the power chord. So. And then down, up, down with your ring and middle. Okay, so. Alright, so. Okay, so we have this. Alright, and it goes through that twice, right? So like this. Right, and on the third time it's going to be quite similar, but it's going to be slightly different. So it starts the same. So same two chords, but then instead of going to the, it's going to be open A, and then second on the fourth string, and fourth on the G. So okay, so we've got. And that's up, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, so it's for the same amount of time as the others. So we've got. Alright, and then it's D5 power chord, open, lowest 3, and then just your index on the second on the G. I'm not hearing the third on the B at this point. I'm not hearing that D note. Alright, and the strumming for this is a bit weird. It's kind of like up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. It's like. Alright, so. Alright, and then put your middle finger back on the D note, on the third on the G at this point. So it's going to be like. So that's like down, down, up, down. So we've got this. Alright, so it's kind of weird that bit. It's like. You know, it's and if you listen to the song as well, that should help you. So yeah, so then you go back to that chord we had earlier where it's E5 power chord on the second, and then little old ring finger on the fourth on the G, and it's the same strumming. So it's like up, up, down, down, up, down. Right, so. Slide back up to the fourth, so F sharp 5. So we've got this in total. And then it goes back, and then it does the whole of the intro again. So everything taught you in the intro is then repeated after that. So right, so yeah, so it does like after the chorus, after the first chorus, it does the whole intro again, and then another verse, and then another chorus. Right, so so the first chorus ends with that. Going back into the intro, but the second chorus, second time around, it just goes, and then it goes into the next part, which I'll teach you now. So it just ends on that, it goes into the next part. Okay, so it doesn't go back to on the second time round. So yes, then I'll teach you the part after the second chorus. Alright, so this is the part after the second chorus. We'll call this the solo, although it's, I suppose, debatable whether it is an actual solo, but it's kind of the distinctive, recognisable little riff that comes in like halfway through the song. So yeah, I've got it on a clean tone, but like I said with the intro, it's kind of slightly distorted, I think, on the recording, but that doesn't matter anyway. Right, so it's going to start on the 4th fret of the D, on the 4th string. Right, so you're going to pick that once, and then it's going to be 6, 7 still on the D with your ring and little finger. So, okay, and then 4, 6 on the G with your index and ring finger. So, and then back to the 4th with your index. So we've got, and then it kind of like goes back down that down those frets. So after the, we've got 7, 6, 4 again on the D. So it just kind of like goes up and then goes back down. Right, and then it goes 6, 7 on the D again, and then 4 on the G, and then 4 on the D. So we've got, right, that's the first part, and then we're going to go 7 on the A, and then 4 on the D with your index, and then 6, 7 again on the D, so with your ring and little fingers. So, and then 4 on the G, and then back to the 7 on the D, and then 6, 4 on the D, and then finally ending on the 7 on the A again. Okay, so in total it's, alright, and then it does that, it repeats that again, and there's kind of 2 guitar parts playing at this point. The one of them is just doing the same thing. And then it ends there on that 4th on the D. And then goes into the next part, but I won't teach you that just yet. I'll teach you the part that the other guitar's playing on that second time round of playing the riff. And it's just gonna, it's quite similar, but it's gonna be 4th on the D once, oh no, 3 times, sorry. Alright, and then 7th on the A, so once, and it does that 3 times. And then it's go, and it's going to go 4, 6, 4 on the D, back to the 7 on the A. So it's, and then it does it 3 times again. Right, so we've got this. And then it's going to go 4, 6, 7 on the D with your index, ring and little, and then 4 on the G, so it's like a little run up. And then at the end it's going to be 4, 2 on the D, and then hammer on pull off on the 4 from the 2, still on the D, okay. So we've got this. And I think it's kind of palm muted as well actually, so it's, and then kind of like, you know, stop palm muting at that point. So. Just listen to the song, you can hear it, and also in live performances it's the part that Simon Neil plays is that part, the second time round. But yeah, that sounds pretty much how it's played to me. Okay, so we've got, so far then we've got, and then the other part, you know, the part that plays in the first time round that's also playing in the second time round ends with that 4th on the D. Alright, and then I'll teach you the part that happens after that. So you want the distortion back for this part, and then it's going to be power chord on the 6th fret on the lowest 3 again, and you're really going to want to play this with your ring finger, you know, so I guess you could try and slide with your index if you didn't like bowing with any other finger, but it is a lot easier just to use your ring at this point, and it's going to be, okay, so it's going to be once with the 6th fret held down, and then once with the 4th, so lifting it off and bowing on the 4th with your index, so, and then put your ring finger back onto the 6th, and then open D5, and it does that twice, and then it does it again, and then just go into the 4th with your index again, so we have this, right, and then it goes back to the kind of intro, just like the intro when you're hitting that shape and stopping it, but it only does it, and then it stops, and then it just if we don't, crashes back into the last chorus. So the whole thing then, that little solo, we've got this. Alright, and then it goes into the final chorus. Alright, so the final chorus then, it's chorus 3, but don't panic, you've not missed anything in chorus 2, because chorus 2, the second chorus, is exactly the same as the first, so there was no point in me teaching that because it's exactly the same. But the last chorus, so it runs through twice, so at the end then when it does the... goes back to the... Right, so that's how it kind of transitions from the one chorus to the next, because like I say, it's like 2 choruses in one at the end. It's just that, yeah, it's just that same cropped shape that's cropped up loads in this song. And then, yeah, it goes back and it does the whole thing again, with some extra stuff on the end actually, because he sings "You're Not the Lucky Ones" like 3 times I think before it goes into the outro. But we'll come to that. But what I was meaning to say was that from listening to it, there's like another little guitar part that's happening the second time round in this last chorus, or 2 choruses if you want, and it's quite faint, but you can hear it quite clearly. And from listening to it, this could be wrong because, like I say, it's not very clear at all, but I'm pretty sure it's just doing this tiny little riff thing quite up high, and it's going to start with 17th fret on the B, and then you can either hammer on to the 19th with your, well, I normally use my my middle finger because there's so little space when you get up to this, when it's this high up. Or you could slide, so see that. Alright, I'm just going to do that twice. Okay, and then it's going to be 16th fret on the high E, and then hammer on to the 17th fret with your middle finger, and again that happens twice. So we have this, and then it goes back to 17th, hammer on 19th on the B, or like I say, if you wanted to slide, and does it 4 times. Okay, so we have this. Right, does that twice, so. Alright, and then when he sings "Look Out Kid," because here it comes on this last one, like I say, it's going to be slightly different. It's going to start the same, and then instead of going back to the, you're going to stay on the 16th, hammer on 17th, and play that 4 times. So we've got, and then twice on there. So we have this so far. It's just going to go. Just like the first 2 times. times at the end. Okay, and then like I say, it kind of, in terms of the overall chorus, it kind of carries on a bit at the end of it. So instead of going like it goes back to alright, so it does it like a couple more times. I mean, listen to the song, you know, you'll be able to hear, but it's basically just those three chords, and they just keep repeating as he sings "You're Not the Lucky Ones," you know, about 3 more times I think it is. And then in terms of this little harmony thing that the guitar's doing, it's just keeps doing that. So it's just twice on the 16, 17 on the E, and then yeah, it's just the same as the first 2 times and whatever. And like I say, you know, I'm pretty sure that's what's being played. It sounds right. I mean, you're probably going to want to play the chords anyway, you know, that's the kind of bit you can, you know, jam along to. But if, in case you did really want to know that, that's what I think is being played there. So yeah, like I say, it does the chorus kind of technically, you know, twice, and then it doesn't extend, it kind of extends it at the end, and then yeah, that's it, and then it goes into the outro. Alright, so the outro, it's going to be really similar to the intro. It's going to be that same 4th power chord on the 4th fret, and then with the so it's going to be like but the difference is really, I think up to this point in the whole song, it's been like you've been stopping it with your the palm of your hand, you know, you're muting it, and at this point in the outro, it doesn't do that. It's just kind of, you know, you just want to keep hitting it without stopping it at all. So it's going to like that. Okay, so I mean, you know, listen to the song. It's kind of like it doesn't do the up, down with the, it just goes, so it's like down upon the power chord and one on with the fingers. I hope that makes sense, but yeah, I'll play it through and you should be able to see what I mean. It's there. And then yeah, and then the last thing there was just the power chord, and then it does the kind of intro-ish thing again, just you know, just like at the start, that same shape, and just muting it, and then at the end you're just going to go. So it's 4th fret, so it's the, you know, it's the push again. It's and then I'm just going to slide down to the 1st fret. It's kind of a weird end and it didn't quite sound right, but I guess that's probably, you know, what they were going for. Alright, so the whole of the outro then is going to be like this. Alright, so that's it, that's the whole song. It's all there, it should all be correct. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed learning how to play it, and yeah, so I'll see you next time hopefully. Yeah, so bye bye, take care.